Hello and welcome to day 45 of my 365 days of crafting. Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little gift box using just one of those cardboard boxes that you buy at the craft store. And I've decoupaged it with some vintage wrapping paper and added a ribbon and made the insert with glitter. It's a very easy project, so let's get started. What you will need for this project is some paper. You can use scrapbook paper. I happen to have some vintage wrapping paper that I'm going to use. You will need one of these little boxes that you can just buy at the craft store. They're very inexpensive. You will need some Modge Podge, a pair of scissors, some ribbon, and a piece of cardstock. And what I've done with this cardstock is I've taken my box and I've turned it upside down and I've traced around it. And then what I did is I took it and laid it on its side and just marked 4 areas around it so I know the depth that I want this to be. And you can put that aside for later. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find out which I want to show on the top of my box. And I'm thinking this little flower bunch right here would be cute. So I'm going to lay that on there. I'm going to turn it upside down so you can't see my drawing on it. And I'm going to, it's hard to see on the camera, but I can see through here. I'm going to lay exactly where I want it to be. And then I'm just going to trace around that with a pen. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. And then for the sides, so this box is 1.5 inches in depth, so I'm going to cut a strip that's 1.5 inches that will fit all the way around my box. So once I have that all cut out, it's time to attach it to the box. I'm just going to put a light coat of the Modge Podge onto the top of the box. And then I'm going to place the paper on there, and you can kind of move it around to make it so it's on there exactly. Make sure you smooth that out. Now once you get it on, if you have any paper hanging over, you can just take a small pair of scissors and just trim it up. Then once you get that all trimmed up, you're going to take some more Modge Podge and you're just going to go over the top of that. And I'm going to go down the sides as well. I'm going to be putting ribbon on the sides, so I'm not going to be covering that with paper. You can also cover that with paper if you wish. So once you get that completely covered, set it aside and let it dry. And then for the side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just put a light coat all the way around the edge. If you get this Modge Podge on your hands, it washes off really easily with soap and water. And you probably will get some on your hands. Go ahead and lay that on. Make sure it's really smooth. Go ahead and cut that. A little bit there where it's meeting. Again, check to see if you have anything hanging over the edges, and then smooth it out. You can lift up and smooth if you need to. And then I'm going to go ahead and just cover that with the Modge Podge just like we did for the top. And go ahead and set that aside and let it dry. And then for the second coat, I'm just going to add a little bit of this luminescent acrylic paint, just a drop. So just enough to give it a little shimmer. I'm going to mix that in with my Modge Podge. You can also buy iridescent Modge Podge if you don't want to buy the acrylic paint. So I'm just going to do my second coat with that. And make sure you do the sides as well. And also the bottom, and I've also painted the inside of the box with this luminescent coat. Then let that dry completely. So once your top is completely dry, what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of ribbon and glue it around the side and leave enough on the ends to tie a bow. So once you get the ribbon glued on, just lay it on its side to dry and put the flaps open so they don't glue together. So while that's drying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the piece that I drew in the beginning where I took the bottom, laid it down, traced around it, and then marked the sides. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a little bit inside of where I marked the sides, probably about a ½ inch inside, and just kind of go around the middle circle there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make slits about every ½ inch up to the circle. So just go ahead and do that. Then once you've cut all the way around, you're just going to fold up these tabs all the way around. So after it's all the way cut, you can just place it into your box like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 little holes because I'm going to put a pair of earrings in here. So I've poked the holes in, and then I'm just going to do one more step to give it a little more bling. I'm just going to cover this with a little bit of that leftover Modge Podge, the iridescent Modge Podge. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of this white gold glitter to the top. And then go ahead and let this dry. That's especially cute if the earrings you're going to be using aren't like blingy. I'm going to be using these cute little button earrings to put in there. So once the glitter's dry, you can just insert inside the box with your earrings that you're going to give as a gift. And then once your ribbon is dry, you're going to make a bow, and you can use the technique I show on my day 5 how to make the perfect bow video, where you just take 2 loops and you're just going to wrap it around and go through the hole there. And then straighten it out. You can cut off the tails a little shorter. And you can put the lid back on. And there you have your jewelry gift box. Thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please comment me on YouTube or at my blog at zuliblue.blogspot.com. And I will see you tomorrow.